So you might be wondering who's talking to me in these videos. Well, my name is Jennifer. I'm the person that's behind Ordinary Nature Connection. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my story and how I turned to nature during a difficult time of my life when everything else wasn't quite working for me. So I had a baby sort of by surprise, a welcome surprise, when I was in my late 40s. And when my daughter was maybe around 6 months old and she was super fussy, sort of intuitively, one morning, I just took her outside and put her on the ground. And there were some wood chips next to her in the landscaping, and she just sort of started playing with that. And within a minute, she had soothed herself and had calmed down. And a light bulb really went off for me, which was that, oh, okay, this is my way through the newborn years. And then I just kind of kept rolling with that through the toddler and preschool years. And then I got really interested in, wow, like what is this effect of nature upon children? And what ended up happening is I did a lot of research in that. And then a few years into it, I realized I also could really use some nature connection time for my own physical and mental health. And so I sort of shifted my lens a little bit and got kind of then very interested in, okay, well, what about for adults who maybe have tried other things? Maybe they've tried, I don't know, like meditation, or they've tried traditional therapy, or they've tried antidepressants and medication, whatever it may be. We're often trying different things to see what works for us. And for me, I eventually arrived kind of back where I started with my daughter, which was, oh, yeah, you know what? I think that what's really going on with me is something that I can navigate through intentionally having little doses of time outside with nature, more or less every day. And that's sort of where my passion comes from, is how can there be these ordinary, non-fancy ways that are accessible for everybody to get outside and to create kind of special little nature places for ourselves and our families. And so that's the kind of origin story behind what I do. And then I kind of, went on and got some training professionally in forest bathing and in nature ritual and in eco spiritual counseling. So there's kind of that dimension of me too. But the spark or the beginning really comes from a very personal story of how nature for me is how I was able to rediscover a sense of belonging with a broader world that I hadn't really been raised with, and I hadn't really been able to find it in other places. And that's sort of what it's become about for me. So that's the little story of where I'm coming from.